Before I say anything, FYI, this is my Facebook. I'm not tagging anyone, so respect the fact that this is my Facebook and this is my page. Um, I don't know how many of you know what I've been going through. I've been uploading videos on my YouTube channel. Um, it's getting to the point where mentally I don't even like I'm breaking down. Like I'm literally I've been breaking down mentally. I mean, my whole life has been a mental breakdown. But I don't know if I should take the time to tell everyone what's been going on. But it's a lot. Like a lot is on my plate. I'm dealing with my OCD, and my depression is extremely severe. I'm on and off different medications from the doctor that either don't help at all or possibly making my condition worse. I've had diarrhea every single day for, I want to say 28, you might as well say a month. Not exaggerating or anything. I have to take 2 to 3 pills of anti-diarrhea medicine, not to stop the diarrhea, just so that I don't go 7 or 8 times a day and get dehydrated. Because it will get so bad that it's like I'm urinating out of my rectum, like just pure water. I haven't been eating much because my stomach is in knots. It's cramping up. I found out about a month ago some stuff that just is freaking me out. Everything from possibly losing my home to extremely high taxes that I don't think I'm going to be able to afford that, and food and water, electricity, and even get by on for my future. I've been taking esketamine Spravato, which is a patented ketamine treatment by Johnson & Johnson. No results for my depression and anxiety. Every time I take the treatment, just really pretty bad anxiety and horrible nausea, and I trip. I've never taken illegal substance like acid or ecstasy or whatever, so the first trip that they gave me I didn't enjoy. Neither did I enjoy the second, third, and fourth. Tomorrow I have my fifth. The last time they went up on my medicine, almost doubled it. The doctor said we give it 2 more weeks, and if you don't start seeing improvement, it's possible that you're just one of those people that it doesn't help. The success rate is like for the esketamine that you put up the nose is very low success rate. Now the ketamine, the real stuff that you can take intravenously or lozenges or in a shot in the fat or the muscle, has more promising results. Another problem with ketamine is it messes up your kidneys. I already have urinary problems. So that, and I've been on Zoloft for way over a month. Zoloft can cause anxiety and diarrhea. Is that where the diarrhea is coming from? I don't know. Talked to my primary doctor. She put me on Buspar. That didn't help me. It almost felt like buzzing or electricity in my head every time I took it, which is a common side effect. When you get off Buspar, horrible side effects. It's not a drug that I would even want to be on. But after being on it for a while, like it wasn't even helping my anxiety. So I got off that. And she put me on Xanax. 1 per day, which is not enough. So she upped it to 3. And I'm trying to take them extremely conservative. But to get on that, and she also put me on a sleeping pill because the amount of sleep I have gotten in the first 20 days, I'm finally sleeping a little bit more. But for 20 days straight, I literally slept 20 minutes to 2 hours a night, waking up drenched in sweat. Pure anxiety from hell. But to put me on the sleeping medicine, which really isn't doing much, and I have to take them sparingly because she only gives me so many, I had to get off my hydrocodone from my pain doctor. Cold turkey. Just had to quit it. Because he will not give me hydrocodone if I am on Xanax, Ativan, lorazepam, Ativan, Klonopin. All those are called benzodiazepines. So, I have to pick something, right? Like, my anxiety is so severe. And if my friend gave me a Xanax on the side and I piss test high, I'm in big trouble with the pain doctor. So, I got off the hydrocodone, quit cold turkey. I've been on hydrocodone for over, like, close to about between 14 and 16 years. I'm bad with dates. I can guarantee you it's been over 13, for sure. At least 13 years. They started me off on 10 milligrams a day. To this day, I still have 10 milligrams a day. I've never taken 3 or 4. I've always taken 2 or less. In other words, I take what I'm prescribed or less. I've never abused it. I've never taken over. None of that stuff. Sometimes they put me on 7.5 3 times a day. It's my choice. I can either pick 7.5 3 times a day or 10 milligrams twice a day. The difference, 10 milligrams twice a day is 20. 7.5 3 times a day is 21.5. 1.5 milligram more, the pain doctor doesn't care. It's either or. And I need to plug my phone in. So I'm off the hydrocodone. My primary doctor said that in and of itself is going to give you horrible anxiety. I said I already know that because I've already tried to get off the hydrocodone several times in the past. Because I don't like being addicted to drugs and having to take drugs. And eventually, what if they take me off or I lose my insurance? Anything could happen, right? So just trying to like get off by the second day and like cut them in half in a fourth. And then by the second or third day, like I'm sick. I actually get sick. I mean, if you've been on pain, hydrocodone, Vicodin for 13, 14, 15, 16 years, at least 13, you're going to have major withdrawal symptoms. My primary doctor said that alone will cause diarrhea. The Zoloft I'm on, the side effect is diarrhea and anxiety. What is the Zoloft for? It's an antidepressant that's supposed to help with depression and anxiety. But this is a common thing. When you take an SSRI or SSNRI, Prozac, Zoloft, Celexa, Effexor, whatever, the side effects are more depression and more anxiety until your body gets used to it, if it ever does. They start me on a low dose and they keep going up, which is fine because the doses I'm on is not, I can't think of the word. They started me off on 25 milligrams. They said take a half, which is 12. Then after 2 weeks, up it. Well, after 1 week, I upped it because I'm like, it's not really causing me any side effects that I know of. The doctor was like, that's fine because you're still on a really low dose. Like 25 milligrams is like really low. So to go from 12 to 25, it normally starts at 25. They normally start people on 50. So I did that for 3 weeks. I went for 1 week, a half of 25, which is 12, about. Then 3 weeks on 25. And then now they upped it straight to 50. It's just really, it's one thing that, like, I woke up this morning with anxiety. Like, horrible. I didn't sleep last night because I don't sleep. I haven't slept in a month. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take the Ambien. I'm not going to take a Xanax. I wasn't having any anxiety last night, which is really weird. About 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, well, you know what? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to take a sleeping pill and mess up my sleep pattern because I have to get up early in the morning every Monday and Thursday for my Spravato treatment. I have a ride share through Medicare, Medicaid. I go in there, they give me the treatment up my nose, I hallucinate, and then they drive me back home. So I need to get up early. So I don't want to take a sleeping pill at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I took I can't remember if I took a fourth. I think I took a fourth of a Xanax to try to maybe help me sleep. That was at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 9 with Xanax in my system. Now keep in mind, I couldn't sleep last night, but I had no anxiety. But then I wake up at 9 a.m. with anxiety, and that's with Xanax in my system. Xanax is not supposed to cause anxiety, but bad anxiety this morning. And it was building and building and building until 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And so I took a half of a Xanax. I took a fourth of a Xanax, waited about 15 minutes, didn't do shit, then took the other fourth, which is a half of a Xanax. Why didn't I take a full one? Well, because again, I'm conservative. The anxiety is so bad, like I asked myself, as like, why am I having anxiety this morning? Nothing came to mind. All I know is I felt something really bad was going to happen in my chest, like something bad is and will happen. Heaviness in my chest, then something bad is going to happen in my head, and then right away my stomach. Of course, I run to the bathroom, and what do you think as usual? Just all runny. Same old shit I've been going through with a month now. I'm taking psyllium husk fiber to cause roughage in bulk, so it's not all watery. It helps a little bit. I mean, if I didn't take it, it'd be worse. So the anxiety's not stopping, and I'm pacing the floors. I go in the kitchen, then I go in the living room, then I go in my room, then I go lay down, then I go back to the bathroom and sit on the pot, just sitting there, because my stomach's cramping up and I don't want to poop my pants because I've already done that several times. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I get out of here. Then I'm having anxiety over leaving the house. I normally don't have anxiety over leaving the house. I have anxiety normally in my life, but sometimes, but it was intense anxiety. So I pushed myself and I went to the gym. I go to the gym, the anxiety has calmed down a little bit, enough that I'm grateful. I work out, I'm so freaking tired. And guess what? I'm having anxiety of coming home. To my home. This isn't I try to be a very logical person. I try to figure myself out to better understand myself. In 2 years, I'm going to be 50 years old. I've lived on this planet long enough that I'm not some young teenager that doesn't know anything. I've dealt with anxiety, depression, and OCD my whole life. I try to figure myself out. Why? Because my health is important to me. I don't know if it's the antidepressant. I don't know if it's because I got off the Views bar, but I wasn't on it long. And if I talk to the doctor, they're either going to take me off the Zoloft or tell me you haven't been on it long enough, give it another couple weeks, which is fine. I think personally I'm going to lower my dose down to, or ask the doctor if somehow we can make it go from, instead of 25 to 50, to do maybe 35. I don't know, cut a pill a certain way or take half it. Figure something out, you know what I'm saying? Or just stay on the 25 a couple more weeks before I do up to the 50. But regardless, the diarrhea started a month ago. The anxiety started about a month ago. The anxiety normally doesn't turn off, but I don't understand why I couldn't sleep last night. I kept waking up, tossing, turning, but I had no anxiety. I just couldn't sleep because I was stressed out, but I had no anxiety. I take a freaking Xanax, a half of one, I believe it was, a fourth or a half, but not a full. And a few hours later, I wake up with anxiety. Well, it's probably because you had a bad dream. No. Was it because you were thinking of bad stuff? No. I woke up with nothing on my mind. But within like 2.5 seconds, right away, the anxiety started. On my chest, something bad's gonna something happen. Something will bad happen. And it's that fight or flight. If you have anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you have no idea. You have no clue what it is. You may think you know, but you don't. Because if there's one thing I can't stand is when people say stress and anxiety. I have so much stress and anxiety. My boss just stresses me out. Oh, my anxiety. Stress and anxiety is two different things. Stress is you got a long day at work. Your boss is a butthole. You're stressed out. Anxiety is you are literally terrified, scared to death. Literally terrified. Not scared, terrified. And you know something is and will happen. That is what your brain and your entire body is telling you. And the first thing that comes to mind is you need to fix it. This morning, I had nothing on my mind. Like, to say I'm frustrated is an understatement. Why am I doing this video? I don't know. You know, when Dan left, I could cope for a while, but then the depression set in. It put me on the Zoloft. And I think it was on it for maybe 2 weeks. And then I found out some stuff that I may lose this house. And then the anxiety started and my memory's going low. So I'm going to have to, I guess, stop now. I'm going to continue with the ketamine treatment 1 or 2 more weeks. I'm going to continue with this Zoloft maybe 2 more weeks max. And if I don't see a change, I'm getting off the Zoloft and I'm getting off the and that's another thing too. Like, I need to get back on my hydrocodone, which means eventually I have to get off benzos. The doctor wants to put me on clozapam, which is a really good benzo because it stays in your system longer, but it also stays in your system for 30 days. The pain doctor said once you're off benzos and you piss test clear, you can get back on your hydrocodone. That's a benzo that stays in my system for 30 days. So the moment that my doctor takes me off that benzo, I still have to wait another month before I can finally get my hydrocodone. And the pain I'm getting, I haven't even started about my pain in my back and my neck. I have an ulcer. At least the doctors are 90% sure I do. So I can't take Advil and Aleve. And I can only pop so many Tylenols a day without ruining my liver. So I just thought I'd share that. I must be a strong person because I think a lot of people, especially with my mental illness, I think they would already be in the hospital. Matter of fact, I think a lot of the shit I've been through with in my life, I think a lot of people wouldn't even be alive right now. They wouldn't have lasted. You know how bad I want to give up? But I'm not going to. Why? Because all I know is to not give up. My whole life, I haven't given up. But it'd be nice to get a fucking break. It'd be nice if a miracle could happen. I keep the OCD, I keep the depression, I keep all my medical problems. Just take the damn anxiety away. The anxiety is what has caused me to lose a house. It has caused me to not be able to go into the Air Force. The amount of losses, the amount of shit, the heartache, the if I wrote a book on all the losses I've had, it is literally, the anxiety literally controls my life. And normally I keep it under control. I don't need to take meds for it. But when something happens and causes it to turn on, it just builds and builds and builds. And that's what happened. It turned on a month ago, and it's just building and building and building. And I guess the synapses in my head is just firing anxiety. And every day it's getting worse. Just like if you go somewhere and you're happy at a cool place and you get more happier, and whatever. It's like same thing with depression, anxiety. Once it kicks in, it continues to get worse, or it can, and for me it has. Normally with the depression, I just sleep. 18 hours a day. But I haven't slept hardly at all in a month. And with anxiety, how the fuck are you going to sleep when you're scared to death that something bad is going to happen? That's why I said I would give up my anxiety. Hell, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I would probably give away and have someone cut off my fucking leg, or my left arm, at least my left arm, if they could guarantee me. I would trade in a body part to not have anxiety anymore. And I'm dead serious about it. That's how fucking bad it is. And normally I keep it under control.